Get my stuff together real quick, guys. Give me a second. Oh, it's supposed to be Grammy night. Yeah. See what's going on YouTube. We're gonna get into some news as well. Let's do that like that. Yeah, because we got the show going right now. But yeah, let me get my themes and everything correct. This is the current event show. Got to see what's going on in the world. See what everybody talk about. What's going on, my people on TikTok? What's happening? What's going on with you folks? What's going on with people on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere else, all the other platforms? What's happening with you? I appreciate you tuning into the Wilderness Podcast. What's happening? We back. We just changed. We're just trying to get our graphics back right. Give me a second. Here we go. Let me get that taken care of. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, we back. How you guys doing, man? It's been a while. We got to take a little time off to get straight, get ourselves together. But we back for the current events show, so we got a lot going on in the world. We definitely know it's a lot going on in the world. That's for sure. So, yeah, for starters, we're gonna start off with the Teofimo Lopez getting this, getting that lesson last night, getting that real lesson, a masterclass boxing lesson put on by Shakur Stevenson. Teofimo was met with a lot of that jab. That jab was so sharp. I mean, he put that jab in front of his face every time T.O. tried to come off with anything offensive. He was met with a left jab. The fight before that with Keyshawn Davis, that was another brilliant masterclass fight. Shut Jermaine Ortiz out. Just shut him out of the game. Just shut him out of the fight. Good job to Keyshawn Davis. But the best fight, of course, was the main event. And of course, Stevens, he did not give us nothing less than, he the new Floyd. He the new TC, Terrence Crawford. He's the new, he's the new Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the great Shakur Stevenson 4 times in four weight classes by the age of 28 years old. He's world class, the best right now. He's the world class champion. Get that man his flowers. We're gonna give him his flowers. We're gonna applaud Shakur Stevenson for a wonderful, beautiful masterclass of a fight. They even tried to even portray that Teofimo Lopez was more athletic. I'm like, when have you ever heard of anybody being more athletic than a talented masterclass boxer like Shakur Stevenson? And under the tutelage of Terrence Crawford, the great Terrence Crawford, went up 3 weight classes to fight the greatest Mexican boxer ever, which was Canelo Alvarez, and put a masterclass performance on against him as well. So you got to really think about the kind of tutelage that he gave Shakur Stevens in order to know how all the predictability, all of the sharpness, the ring generalship, the ability to, I mean, his offense, his defense, he couldn't crack the code. He couldn't get near him. He couldn't, Teofimo really couldn't get anything off because it was met with pure hostility and, absolute adjustments and, counter punching and just countering every turn. Tio tried to do anything. And then I think Shakur gave him a round. He gave him a round. He gave him 1 round, but he didn't even win that round. So it was just a masterclass of boxing from Shakur Stevenson. He's a wonderful, tremendous talent that will be remembered. He'll be remembered, man. But he got so much more to do. He's so young, and he's at the top of his class like that, and he's only going to get better. So that was the highlight watching the fight. For me, as far as what was the current event. Uh, but in the real world and what's going on in the news, there's a lot of I see there's a lot of turmoil, a lot of I think Trump is finally cracking. The Epstein files are really, have exploded into something, when they're talking about this, allegedly, the things that he's done is pretty daunting. It's pretty daunting. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't have a bunch of faith in anything that they would or could do because of the fact that he still have gotten away with everything. Everything that he chooses to get away with, he gets away with. I haven't seen no one check him. I haven't seen anyone do any damage to him because he just steamrolls it, doesn't care, moves past it, moves as if it's already over with. He operates as if people don't have a brain for themselves because he has a lot of atrocious you know people around him. It's pretty terrible, but it's not like he wouldn't do a horrible job on his own. It's just he got those Stephen Millers and those bad actors, a conglomerate of bad actors. He's the worst actor. He parades around as if he's not a criminal. That's what's so wow. It's amazing for a person to have that type of cognitive dissonance. So he's in the news every day, all day. Have been in the news since man, Trump been in the news for over a decade every day, over a decade every single day. It's just where he just wears you out with antics, wears you out with masking and pivoting and doing other things, not wanting to address things that are absolutely in that we want to address as the citizens. He's picking this country apart, which in sometimes and in some instances is necessary. I will some things had to be renewed, some things have to be destroyed, but we don't want to be destroyed as a whole. But I would advise anyone take, and like as I always say, take this opportunity to adjust for yourself. Take this opportunity to be mindful of what you want and how you trying to get there. It's hard enough, but it's time to get with like-minded people. Understand like-mindedness first and foremost, and try to fortify yourself with ways to move forward and not backwards. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have to just take it upon yourself to move in the direction that you want to move and that you need to move for you and your family, I advise you do that. But always, never put yourself in predicaments to be vulnerable, and don't put yourself in predicaments to jeopardize your character, your morals, your ethics, and how you want to move forward. Because you see, also in the YouTube news, somebody just keep getting cooked. That boy, uh, Daniels boy, he just keep getting wore out. Because his character is exposed. All of the destruction of oneself is just terrible. I did a show about the destruction of oneself. When you don't practice self-resilience, you don't have any self dignity. You don't have any dignity. You don't have any no real honest character. You don't want to be, your best. You want to be a low life or a weakling for someone else. Nah, I can't subscribe to that, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to ever put others above you. And I talked, and I told y'all about that before. A lot of people think that this is necessary to make a sacrifice of your well-being to appease others. And I told you that's played out because in the end of the day, when you get older, what's going to happen to your legacy and what you believe and what you think about you? Think about those things. Okay, let's get to another current event. What's going on YouTube? Oh, okay, I got my remote. Here we go. We got oh shit, black women finally give Valentine's Day what he deserves. Okay, yep, I told you they keep cooking him everywhere. Teofimo Lopez, he announces his retirement. Epstein secrets revealed. YouTube channel. This is my this is my little feed. What I get. Oh shit, what's going on? You're not gonna follow in. Oh, we got a local officer that got unalive. Okay, so we got America Strikes Back from Midas Touch saying enough is enough. They saying enough is enough. And we got Shakur embarrasses Teofimo Lopez so bad he apologizes for slavery. Yes, he did. Teofimo did apologize for slavery. Yes, he did. And the reason why he apologized for slavery because of those, he made a lot of yeah, a lot of awful things. Brainwashing the Negroes. Okay, how to keep Negroes from fighting back. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. And that's let's pause this right here, Dr. Claude Anderson. Let's pause that. Okay, the thing is, people have a lot of will always have a lot of problems with the fact that when he made all those racist, comments allegedly, Teofimo Lopez made all those racist comments, talking about black Americans, about slavery and things. These a lot of times that's when people are jealous of your physical attributes. So they look at you and they equate you or with some type of superhuman ability. So they say that's animal like or that's animalistic. And what they really are doing is it's a backhand compliment, which is it's not okay. And they do that a lot on a lot of these platforms and acting as if we don't understand where you're pivoting from. We don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we do. We understand what a backhand comment is. A backhand comment is saying things like that. Teofimo is very guilty of making those type of gestures because it's really an internal jealousy and admiration. Is really an admiration for physical gifts and capabilities that a lot of black people globally do have, especially black Americans express things very well. And I'm not trying to compare us to anyone else in the world. It's just that when it comes to um, all sports that we put our time, energy, and effort into, we excel globally. If you look at the USA team, when you got the right people playing on the team, they excel globally. They're gonna beat everybody else in the world, and most of the time it's stacked with Black Americans, and that's any sport, track and field. We talking when we interested wrestling, especially boxing. Everything that we do, we dominate, and that's just the facts. And if you can like that or not, but I know this is a current event show, but that's from the past, the present, and will be in the future. We will never be out dominated. But the problem is, a lot of the athletes that are the greats, they have a they're color struck and they have a problem with themselves, even though they feel like, they're superhuman and have these superpowers or these super capabilities, but their atmosphere and what's around them, those ladies that they gravitate to are normally a fairer complected lady, which I got no problem with that. People there who they want. I'm just letting you know. If you take those instances where you catch a brother that's married or he only pursues a certain type of woman, I call that self hate. I think that's you don't. It's something that you don't like. Maybe it's your color, maybe it's your complexion, maybe it's your height, but there's some trauma there that you associate with your color, and I think that should stop. I mean, and because when you get around these people and you marry into certain cultures and you have in-laws, in some instances there's going to be some friction or there's going to be some disrespect because somebody wants to offend you and don't want to give you your props, or maybe they want to press you or test you. So all of those things uh tend to take place when you amalgamate with people that don't understand you. Now we have people globally that you can marry globally if you want a global, relationship with someone, but you don't have to pick a specific complexion. That makes it seem like you really don't like who you are. You maybe not like your mother, your siblings, your sisters, your cousins, the people that look like you. Maybe you have a problem with self. And now I think that's a problem within self. And I think a lot of times it's not addressed because we say, oh, people can love and marry who they want, which I do agree with. I have no problem with. I would never speak any negativity, in accordance with, how people choose to love. But at the end of the day, when you choose to love how you love, I just need to ask yourself, does it have any association to do with hating yourself? Now, if that's the problem, then you need some you should think about ways of how to um figure out where that self-hate came from and how it got to the point to where you now feel as if you don't like anything that looks like you or familiar or that you're familiar with. So, and that's, in some cases, but in other cases, some people are raised in neighborhoods where there's a dominant culture or a dominant society that they exist in, whether that be black, white, anything in between. Some people grow up in a multicultural society, which is like to call urban, and then some people grow in some rural environments. And a lot of times in America, that color dynamic is starting to shed, but in a lot of ways, it is showing a very, very nasty, ugly face because of Trump, because of how It's not a crime to be a racist. It's not looked down upon anymore. It's more so of sort of in some circles accepted for some people, because I think that the dwindling knowledge and understanding of why you feel that way in the first place. So there's a lack of accountability, there's a lack of understanding, and there's a in some instances where some black people do fall at fault. I would say at fault is when you allow people to disrespect you to your face, and you expect and maybe they have an expectation that they can do that to other people. And then when they run up on the right or wrong person, they'll understand that everybody is not a monolith, and nobody is going to accept, being talked down upon or being mistreated, upon certain circumstances, simply because they have morals and standards, and they was raised to appreciate themselves and value themselves, vice not like or hate themselves. See, some people got a problem with their height. You got to overcome that. Some people have a problem with their complexion. That's, I don't think, I see, in my mind, these are not things you should overcome, but have I dealt with it as a child? Absolutely. But was I comforted? Was I loved? Was I appreciated? Was I given, the value and the pick me ups when necessary in order to overcome some things when people did attack me for my color, when they did attack me for, being dark skinned. Even when I was in the Marine Corps, my nickname in the in the Marine Corps, shit, man, it was I was so dark in Paris Island, they used to call me Deep Purple. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, what have you, what will you, run with that how you want to. I don't, as you can tell, I don't have any no psychological angst or problems with my complexion or who I am. But it takes of a lot of understanding, a lot of appreciation, and a lot of valuable gifts that you get from your ancestors, your parents, people that love you and appreciate you. When they set forth values in you, you can never allow yourself to lose dignity or lose, your ability to, love and appreciate and value, how you come to be, and who you want to be, and how you shall go forward in that type of way of thinking, that type of way of being. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get to what's going on else. What else? So how you keep an ego from fighting back? You keep them well, in my opinion, I think you keep them actively uh active in the mind with everything that they can consume outside of themselves. So it's making sure you have a you're always being distracted. I would distract you with church, Jesus. I'll distract you with trinkets, things that only I say what they value. So if I tell you how much it is valued, then I want you to pay the price for which you will pay. That's what some people, that's brainwashing. I keep looking at your car, beat the hell out of this boy, man. This is dominant. This is wonderful. So seems like the world is turning and waking up, at least collecting a lot of data. At least collecting a lot of data. There's a lot of data being collected because I think people are starting to have, different visions on how they want the world to be and how they want the world to operate. So, I was looking on YouTube a couple of days ago, and I was seeing that there are a lot of intelligent white people that are speaking history. I have never heard them speak, aligning themselves with solidarity, outside of you know, with the other types of distractions like what's going on in Minnesota. That's not a distraction for, I pray for peace in that city, but we all know what caused it. We all know why it would happen. We all know the injustices that were done in that city. When it's all tragic, it's all meaningless. Should it have happened? No, not at all. None of that stuff should have happened because, I feel like law enforcement should have practiced a hell of a lot more restraint and a lot more, skills, soft skills like, being civil and having a sociological perspective and being able to deal socially with American citizens. But it seems like some of these agents want to deal with American citizens as if they're criminals. So it's almost equivalent, because blacks have been through this for, the likes of the presence of the dominant society. I can't say for them, but I would say the arrival of Europeans and the arrival of others as well, other nations. But because it takes a bandwagon to keep this type of system going, it takes an ideology. It takes an ideology to keep this type of system going. It keeps a methodology to keep the type of system going, and it takes intrinsic apparatuses and mechanisms to keep feeding into this system. So let me get to the compensatory code system concept by Nearly Fuller. If I got it in, I think it's downstairs in the garage, ladies and gentlemen, which is fine because I think the ISIS paper is down there too. But I will tell you, I do have Powernomics here. I do have this book, Powernomics, and I also have Dr. Amos Wilson. I have his work too. It was a book that I wanted to share with you guys right here. Do I have it over here, man? Come on, man. Dr. Amos Wilson. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? I'm coming. I'm coming. Let me get my book. Did I have it on this? Uh, I thought I had it over here. I have books all around my house, so you know, sometimes I think I have one thing in one place, and I don't have it. Wait a minute. What's this? Nope, nope, not this one. Nope. Damn. I swore I had that book up here. Anyway, the show must go on. I do have Bionomics here by Dr. Claude Anderson, of course. This is always a wonderful read. But in let me see what I wanted to go with. This is telling us in Brain Drain. Got some good stuff in chapter 5. Constructive verbal businesses and industry that control all possessors from raw resources and markets within and outside of black communities. All right, so chapter 5 of Powernomics is talking about um, economic actions. This is actually step 6: vertical businesses and industries that control all processes from raw material and markets within and outside the black community. So, vertical businesses meaning controlling everything from when it's in, from when it's in pure nothing, raw materials, meaning um, rather it's minerals, if it's cobalt or gold or silver or whatever minerals, whether it be phosphate or nickel, aluminum, anything of those type of industries, you have to control it from start to finish, meaning all systems of process that get it into some form of production that the material is actually used for, and making sure you're reaping the rewards and the benefits, and placing that and putting that back into areas that improve your company, your environment, people around you, and also providing jobs and setting economic value at a very high esteem for people that buy into your product and actually get into and having the mindset, the engineering, the capabilities, the project management, the railways, or in the roadways, as in even shipping. So understanding all of these elements, bringing them together, is how you run what? A city, as well as a company, as well as an international enterprise. So let me get into this. It is physically impossible for blacks to compete in every kind of business in every community. We will have our greatest impact with the exercise of vertical involvement, primarily within those businesses that which we have some competitive advantages. Vertically integrated businesses translate into industry. We should seek out the industry to strive to create a monopoly. A monopoly through vertical integrations locks out competition. Vertical businesses can control markets, resources, research, and other complementary activities. The complement the complement the complement competitive advantages remains whether the business are local or national. Black businesses must also be vertically organized through production and horizontal in markets. The thing is, you have to compete. And then when you compete, you have to have a product that is actually competitive. If it's not competitive, then what's the use of making it? What's the use of producing it? What's the use of putting it out? What's the use? Because you're black? No, you have to be better. You have to put a viable product out that's sustainable. And it also has to be upward, vertical, maintaining horizontal um, demands, as if this is explaining to you. And I understand that perfectly. Once the black business industry has succeeded into building vertical industry in the black community, it should then spread horizontally across country into black communities until it has control over all of home markets. The vertical movement followed by horizontal penetration that allows blacks to establish closed loop production and market networks for a private use of black businesses. This happens in the mainstream business world every day. For instance, more than 40% of the United States export nearly 50% of its imports do not compete in other markets. Instead, they move them across closed channels. Japan does the same thing. So the closed loop production is the market channel and good enough for the big boys. Why shouldn't we have our own channels too? Closing markets. Thing is, if you got one thing in one neighborhood, don't brag about it and say, "Oh, we're the only ones." No, spread the love, spread it out, and make it a multiplicity. Like it says, make it a monopoly. If you're controlling a product that everybody wants, everybody utilizing, everybody has some utilization as far as purpose, which makes all of us better. Hey, then you have a that's a hell of a situation. That's how you make money. Well, so that was that had to be implemented in the current event Sunday show, because we always want to talk about growth. We always want to talk about, being the best version of ourselves on the Wheel This podcast. You know, it's always good to grow up. It's always good to, talk about certain things that make us entertain, make us laugh, make us have fun, and make us, enjoy each other, fellowship. But it's also very good to get down to business to make us understand how globally we can make a difference. Globally, not just, in one system here or one system there, but you could practice a multitude of things that people will and can need for the lack of being and living. So this just one show tonight. I wanted to get us back. I wanted to show you how much I appreciate you, how much I love you, and how much I respect you. But what I would love for you to do is subscribe to the Wilderness Podcast on YouTube and all other platforms. Also check out me at thewilderness.podcast.com, where you can shop, you can get some knowledge, participate in the blogs, get the emails, sign up for the newsletter. We're doing a lot this year in 2026. So I hope you guys appreciate it, the effort that we're putting in. We also, that's how you support the show. I never ask you for money. I never ask you for anything. I like to exchange with you. So I'm not a beggar. So if I ask you to go buy a product, go buy some shirts, I put a lot of time and energy and effort into some of my designs. I hope you like them. And it's just participating. It's great quality, great stuff. But I'm not asking you to buy up everything. Just get you something nice that you like. And it's a couple of outfits, some of the things, some things that you enjoy. But anyway, because you already know the wheel is yours. But hey, this is the end of the show right now. You know, I got to do another show later, of course, with you guys, and I will be. I got to get myself together. I got to eat. I got to work tomorrow. I still got a day job. Also, you guys, please go to the Wheel This podcast on YouTube. Watch the long versions of the shows. I love that you like the shorts, but the shorts don't make me the money. The shorts don't get me don't accomplish our goals. The shorts don't get us the watch hours that we need to monetize so I can put all of my platform, so I can put all of this stuff together. But I need your help. I need you guys to help me. I need you to set some time aside, pick a show that you want to watch that you're interested in, watch it, tune in, and also leave some comments and let me know what you think. I got a lot of shows. I got a lot of stuff out there. I'm pretty sure you can find something that you like and that you can gravitate and put yourself into. So hey, it's Will This Podcast. I appreciate you. I'm gonna keep going strong, keep doing what I gotta do. And I'm also very appreciative of you. Thank you guys so much. So I tell you this. It's the end of the show. But I appreciate you guys so much. Y'all I know you'll see me back on. So listen to me. You know it's my favorite part. But I want you to say it with me as well. The will is yours. Be cool, bees, my people. We know you love you. You know we love you and we love you back. So I'll holler at y'all. I'll be back. Peace. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all. I'll be back with y'all.